been pretty busy in the off season. Are you happy with how you've been able to put your team together and your roster with what you got?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to tell right now. Playing against each other, I think every day is hard, and and everybody knows what everybody else is going to do. I think we've made some strides particularly with the new guys in terms of them understanding what we want done. But until you play some outside competition, that doesn't know everything that you're going to do. It's kind of difficult to tell.
So with that said, how much did the Spanish tour help to be able to give you a little jump start on outside competition?
Honestly, the competition wasn't very good. I mean, we could have scored anytime we wanted to, throwing it inside to Derek or Logan. It helps. I mean, it helped our conditioning. It's good that we got to play together. It's good that we got our bigs got to guard some little guys running around out on the perimeter, and our little guys, we were switching things on purpose just so they'd have to learn how to do some things in the post and all. I think we didn't shoot it particularly well, but that was probably. I mean, the ball was slick. It was so hot. I mean, it was just. I mean, I'm sitting there on a chair, and I'm soaking wet, and I wasn't until the last game. I didn't even bitch at the officials, believe it or not.
Starting your full practices now, how much goes to more teamwork versus how much you're still doing the individual skill development things over the summer?
It's still whole part whole. I mean, that's what we always do. You try to show them. If you try to do the part, they kind of, they get bored with it, and then you try to put the whole in using the parts, and they have no idea why or how or anything. So we try to show them what we're going to try to do, and then we try to break it down so that they understand their part of it, and then try to put it back together again. That's hard to do, whenever this is good. It got them together, and we got a lot of individual work done, but we didn't do a whole lot of team stuff.
You guys start today? Or?
We start officially Friday.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I just looked at my calendar. It was on there. You're fine.
Sorry. What did you see from Osaboyan that made you bring him in, and how has he kind of acclimated to the group so far?
Well, he plays really, really hard. That's the thing that, looking at him on film, he plays really hard. He's a big who can bounce it, which is, I think that's a great weapon to have. He's a guy who can catch it and I mean drive it and I think draw fouls. He's strong. He's aggressive. I think for an extended period of time, he could guard on the perimeter better than any big we have. Derek can do it. He just doesn't do it very long, or as long as what sometimes we need him to. But and playing 2 years, he's got 2 years of SEC experience and playing in big games, so that gives him an advantage, I think, over the freshmen.
Was the idea there to get another wing to go with Matthews, because if you didn't have him, you wouldn't have had it back?
I don't think he's a wing, John. No, I think he's a four. I think he's a four-man who can bounce it. I think he's a four-man who passes it pretty well. He rebounds it, plays really hard. I think if we can get the other guys to figure out how to play pressure, I think we could go back to, I don't know that we can do what we did before, but we can, I think, still at times pressure people, because he's a big who can really, he can stay in front of people.
Who would that second wing be right now?
Emmett can't get tired. We can play. We can play. I think a lot of people there. Jermaine could play there. In fact, Jermaine could probably. That may be Jermaine's best position. But we could play Sean there. We could probably play Taz there. We can play 3 guards. With those 2 bigs inside, I think we can play 3 guards and be fine.
Along those lines, how is the perimeter defense? That was with Dax and JC a couple of years ago, that was kind of your calling card. You didn't have that last year. What do you do this year?
It's kind of like it was when those 2 were freshmen. It's non-existent. We don't guard anybody, but we will. We're athletic enough, and I think they're basketball savvy enough. We'll be able to guard people.
Bob, with regard to Gabe, is he definitely redshirting? Is he TBD?
TBD. I don't know.
I think that's all you can say, right?
Yeah, I mean,
What do you see now to Jalen Bridges in the short period that he's been here?
well, you got to like his length and ability, and his at 6'7" and long, his ability to play on the perimeter. He gets better and better every day, I think, as he gets more and more comfortable. I mean, he's walking in after those other guys have, went through the whole summer. And really, probably 2/3 of them went through their freshman season a year ago. So I think he's going to be a really good player.
Do you have a specific plan for him? Do you want him to redshirt this year or play him?
He wanted a red shirt. That was the plan that they had mapped out, and I was fine with it. I think that's a great idea for him.
Coach, in a very general sense with the waiver process, I'm sure the NCAA gets hit with thousands of requests per year. Do coaches know, or schools know in general, if a kid is going to be granted a waiver? I mean, some kids get it, some kids don't. Is it a frustrating process? Should it be more clear in a general sense?
Well, honestly, Justin, I think if you have any reason whatsoever, seemingly you get a waiver.
Right.
It doesn't take a lot. I mean, there's such an emphasis on individual rights that I don't think they want that challenged anymore. And so, unless there's there's strong opposition to it from some faction, I think generally I think we're at a time where they want to be known as helping people achieve their goals, not holding them back from achieving their goals, which they were accused of, I think, before. And it really, honestly, is a new time. I mean, it's you could play a game on Saturday and your leading scorer could be enrolled in someplace else on Monday.
Along those lines, I don't know if you saw that Seth Greenberg tweet. I guess there's 150 kids in the transfer portal that don't have a place to go now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, and I've said this to you guys repeatedly, but I think what we're missing the whole deal is we're so concerned about individual rights we forget about everybody else. It's like the draft. I'm totally 100% against what we're doing with the draft and letting them stay in the draft that long, because you can't replace them. And what happens to the rest of your team? Doesn't it matter what happens to them? Doesn't it matter that they've lost maybe their best player and they can't replace them? So all their goals and everything that they've kind of dreamed about, going to school and playing on a great team and winning in the NCAA tournament and going to the Final Four and all those things, You know, you lose a guy or two unexpectedly. You know, like there's guys going to draft. You say, well, he's not going. You don't know whether he's going to get drafted or not get drafted. Did any of us know whether Sags would get drafted? No. It's kind of a. I mean, you take our guys, the majority of our guys that left. I mean, we didn't have any idea, and I talked to everybody. You know, we had no idea whether they're getting drafted or whether they could come back or couldn't come back. I mean, starting with KJ. I mean, how does KJ not get drafted? But he didn't. And we were, we saved a scholarship for him. But it gets, let's say, for instance, this year we lose two of our bigs, underclassmen bigs. We've got a senior big. And we're left with one big. So now do we wait and see what happens? Do we fill that spot? Is that fair to those other guys? I don't think it is.
Well, it's a domino because look at all the kids in the limbo that don't have a place to go now, that are just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? That only affects them. They chose that. I can live with that more than I can destroying a team. I can live with that. And they're always going to have a place to go. I mean, they're going to be Division II people looking in there, picking them up. They'll go somewhere.
Keep that in mind when you're recruiting players now. Do you talk to them about that as part of the recruiting process? Try to sound them out what they feel like their ideas or plans are?
They all think they're going to play in the NBA. I don't have to ask them. I know what they're thinking. They're all NBA players, every single one of them. All those guys, those guys that are playing in Europe now, still they think they're NBA players. Most of them, not all of them. Most of them do.
Now that the NCAA has been brought up, you got any thoughts, feelings about the Kansas situation? That you want to say?
I don't really know enough about it to say anything that's intelligent, so I really pride myself on sounding intelligent, as you know. So, Bob, I don't know enough about it. I really don't. You kind of look at the headlines, and you read a headline about this team and that team, and I don't know. It would appear, if you don't, and you really don't. This is the first thing that's ever really come out from the NCAA, I believe. I think all the rest of it has kind of been secondhand, So, and I honestly didn't read it. I mean, I saw the headlines, but I didn't read it.
Well, we discussed a couple of newcomers. What about the others? McNeil, Taz, Oscar? What are you seeing out of them?
Well, Sean got really sick in Spain, and then his brother got married a couple times, I think, because he was gone a couple weekends. I thought maybe.
First one didn't take?
Yeah. They just wanted to make sure that they had it right the first time, I think. But no, he's just been he lost a bunch of weight and all that stuff. So he's kind of been. It's hard to get a good look at him, I guess. Taz is getting better and better, and getting stronger and stronger. I think he's, what is he? He's 185 pounds. I think he came in at 170. So he's getting stronger and understanding. Miles is playing great. I mean, Deuce is playing. I mean, if we were going to play today, Deuce would see a lot of playing time. He's gotten stronger. He's making shots. He defends. Who else did you want to know about? Oscar. Oscar's kind of a little bit like Sean, although Oscar's brother I think's too young to get married. He's just 15, so maybe they do that. But he hadn't been around much. I mean, really, you know, with us going to he practiced with us before we went to Spain, and then we went to Spain. We took a little time off when we got back, and he hasn't. We haven't really done a whole lot, so it's hard to. He's talented. I mean, you just watch him run up and down and watch him rebound the ball. He's shooting it pretty good. It's just, you know, it's hard when you don't know what you're doing, and there's so many things going through your head. And am I supposed to screen? Am I supposed to cut? Am I supposed to, you know, flash the high post, catch the ball? I don't, you know, and then they just kind of freeze. And he's a little bit like that. He doesn't freeze when it gets on the rim, though. That's a good thing.
Thoughts on your schedule? You've got some games backed up and in. What's your initial thoughts when you saw it come out last week?
I hope I didn't overschedule. Yeah, I mean, the games I think that even some people think are going to be easy aren't going to be as easy as people think they are. And we open with Akron, and I think Akron's got a good team. You know, this is the year that they've been looking forward to. You know, and then we're going to go play Youngstown. You know, Jarrett's got everybody back there. And so Ohio State in Cleveland, I mean, hopefully, you know, our people got on the ticket thing early, but I think what happened was the Cavs season ticket holders had the first dibs on the tickets, and so that'll be interesting to see what that crowd's like. You know, I just hope it's not a home game for them.
Have you gotten any word on Oscar's visa being cleared yet for Cancun?
No, not really. I mean, I got a lot of words, but it's none that would do you any good. Hasn't done me any good.
I think you can speak intelligently on this.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you saying that.
That's my question. The ESPN Plus thing,
Mhm.
does that bug you at all as a coach who likes to have exposure in as many national stages as you can? Are you concerned about visibility with recruits or anything like that, or are you still trying to feel your way through it?
I think we're going to have to. I think everybody involved really needs to just see what happens. I tried to watch the football game, and I think, you know, it's like anything else. I mean, it's going to take them some time to figure out, you know, what the best way to do things, just like it takes us, you know, some time to figure things out. I don't know, Mike. I don't know if they say it's the wave of the future. I'm not involved in it, so I don't know. I know that the people in the league, I think, are excited and very much behind it, and obviously they've studied it, and they're very intelligent people, so I'm sure they're guiding us in the right direction.
You may be giving my answer by not saying it, but is there a difference between CBS with Kansas at 2 o'clock on Saturday and CBS, ESPN Plus in Kansas?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, right now there is. Now, is it going to be that way, you know, 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road? I don't know. But I'd be lying if I told you it was the other way around.
You said you tried to watch the football game?
Mhm.
Were there difficulties?
Well, I wasn't at my house. I was at my cabin, and it was kind of, it's, you know, different.
Hangs up a little bit.
Can't camp without Wi-Fi these days. You know that, right?
Yeah, You know, I better not go there. My wife's in charge of that kind of thing, you know, so you never know which channels you're going to get when you show up there, because she pays the bills and doesn't pay the bills. So.
Coach, another one on the schedule real quick. You got the 2 road games to start again with school, when school's out, which I think is something you've always thought was a positive in the past. I think you got less 9 p.m. road games. Is this a more manageable Big 12 schedule?
Yeah, it is, but honestly, I didn't get everything we asked for. I didn't want to play late at night, have one day, and then play at noon the next day.
Right.
And if we were going to play late at night, then I thought whoever we're playing should have played late at night. If we were on the road, they should have been on the road. Then obviously we go back to their place, so we have 2 in a row on the road. But they have the same circumstances to deal with that we have, and we didn't fully get that. And I know that's hard to do.
Right.
You know, I'm not. That's a hard thing to do with you know, television makes it, honestly, television makes it very difficult. And the money that they pay us, we do need to appease them. I mean, that's common sense.
Yeah.
What do you think makes this team unique that you put together maybe from other teams, or?
We actually make shots. We don't have to rely on getting 2 and 3 shots a possession, or we don't really have to rely, I don't think, as much on creating turnovers. I think we have more guys who are capable shot makers. Now, are they going to do it all the time? I don't know. Hopefully, they don't all do it. They don't all miss it on the same day, which seemingly kind of happens. But I just think we got more guys. We got Chase has shot the ball well. This whole summer. Like I said, Sean's been kind of laid up, but I mean, we look at Sean as an elite shooter. Taz can really make shots, and then, you know, our returning guys, Jordan can make shots, Emmett can make shots. I just think we have more guys capable of making perimeter shots, particularly open shots, and I think with hopefully the firepower that we're going to have inside, it's going to create some more open shots on the perimeter for those guys.
Does that, the ability to make shots and do what you're saying, does that change your defensive philosophy at all? I mean, you know, I know you'd like to be West Virginia, but do you want to?
I don't think we can do anything, just a steady diet of anything. I think we've got to, you know, when we were really good with you know, the Final Four team, we played a lot of point drop matchup stuff. We played man, and then we played 1-3-1. So, you know, I think that's. You can't come down and let them come down every time and be in the same thing. You got to keep them off balance. And we're going to try to do that. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, because I've tried to do, you know, a few things of what I just said, and they weren't very good. So we'll have to see which we, you know, a couple of those teams were really, really good playing matchup. And opposing coaches said to me afterwards, we have no idea what you're doing. But we didn't either, really. We just, they knew how to play, you know. And it's hard to scout somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, but they know how to play. And that's, I don't know from this group how many people really understand how to play. Less and less and less guys are understanding how to play.
And can you get that
I don't know. You know, I told our guards the other day. You know, the good thing about our guards is every day I go out to coach them. When I walk out, I realize what a hell of a player I was, because I didn't do near the dumb things they do. And actually, I knew if a guy was open, you're supposed to pass it to him. You're not supposed to hold it till he gets covered. So yeah, they just make me feel like I was maybe a lot better than what I was. But it's a good feeling to have, you know.
Bob, prior to
Don't
the-
laugh, Tony. I'm telling you right now, I was pretty damn good. If you watch those guys, and if you ever saw me play, you'd appreciate it.
Would you start on this team?
Start. I'd be the captain.
Well, prior to the trip to Spain, Jordan had said he still kind of had up and down days with the knee. I know you said in Spain he didn't show any of the ill effects of it. How's he doing now?
He's fine. He's fine. He hasn't mentioned it. He doesn't wear a sleeve or a brace or anything. So I think he's kind of that mindset. You know, why do you want to advertise there's something wrong with you? And I mean, he's not just he's in here. He's still in here every morning, and he's still in here every night. So he's doing everything that he used to do. He's not taking mornings off or nights off, and he still comes into practice every day. And hasn't said a word. Doc hadn't said a word about him. So.
Coach, you got a pretty good fair mix of returning guys and new guys coming in. So, and obviously each year is different, but did the returning guys use last year as motivation at all? Is that all just forgotten and things are new again, or
No, I you know what, Justin, I think they do, but you know, if you look at our roster, you know, freshman, sophomore, we got Jermaine and Chase are seniors, and then sophomore, freshman, junior, senior, junior, freshman. We're young. We're still really young. You know, we kind of want to look at Emmett and Jordan, for instance, as veterans. They're sophomores. You know, so we're not you know, we're not what we've been sometimes when we were pretty good, where we had a lot of experience, older guys, you know, been through it. So it's hard to tell. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I kind of know what we're going to get from those older guys, but I don't know what we're going to get from our freshmen and our junior college guys.
But you kind of alluded to it in the summer, but in terms of chemistry, how different a place are you in now than you were a year ago?
No, I think we're pretty good. The thing that they kind of did as a group, which is different than what it was. You know, they all went out and played football on the beach. They had a football game on the beach. You know, Logan still envisions himself as a quarterback. Only in a town of 300 people can a 7-footer be quarterback, and a 5'6" guy be the center. And then Deuce was a quarterback at Moeller. So yeah, they had a big time. They had a big time playing football on the beach, and they I mean, they hang out together. You know, they actually like each other.
You mentioned the shot makers and the firepower. Are you comfortable going into the season with that group being able to outscore other people on a consistent basis?
Do I have a choice? I mean, we kind of are what we are. You know, John, it's when you look at our, and like sometimes I look at Taz and I'm like, you know, I wish he was a little bigger. He's 6'3" or 4, you know, and he shoots it now. I mean, he as of today is our most consistent shot maker. And and he can make hard shots. And he's a versatile scorer. He can score it on a perimeter. In junior college, they sent him down on the block quite a bit. Sent him down and mismatched him on the block, and he can score it down there. So, you know, I don't. Every time Sean shoots it, you think it's going in, and when it doesn't go in, you're like looking at him like, what's wrong, you know? Because everyone looks like it should go in. And Chase the same way. Chase has shot it really well. But you know, if we can get Derek a little better, if we can get Oscar a little better, you know, you've got to score it close. And that opens things up outside when you can throw it inside and vice versa. So, I mean, in all honesty, if you think what Derek did, and I don't want Derek to hear me say it, but I mean, the guy really going into the last game was going to lead the Big 12 in rebounding, and didn't play the first half of the year. It's pretty amazing, really. And to have him and Oscar and Logan pursuing the ball. Logan was really good in Europe. Now he was playing. I think he thought he was back home. He's playing against 6-foot guys, but he's played really well. He's played really well. He's, you know, when he threw it inside, you know, it was like go rebound, and he can score it now. He's jump hooking it. We finally got him to quit slinging it and get it up over the rim. He's making some shots, but he's a big dude. So I'm thinking he's going to give us, you know, when you think you got those three guys and if we can get Gabe, there's four guys that I think we can work on people, you know, getting up and down the floor, making their bigs run.
Are you happy with the individual work you got done with Derek? I know there were things that you wanted to work with him specifically.
You know, here was the deal. Derek said he was faster than Oscar. Oscar said there's no way. Now, they were supposed to race. They've never raced yet. And so Derek says to me, don't you think I can run? I said, I don't know. I've never seen you. I mean, I see you trotting up and down the floor, me screaming at you, but I've never really seen you run. I don't know. But, yeah, he can run. And really he needs to run. And if we can wear on other people's bigs and beat them up and down the floor, and, you know, I think that's a great advantage.
How does body awareness and angles and all those things, is he coming along there, those things you're trying to teach him?
If you're talking about just bulling through people, he's pretty good at that. But it's kind of like you driving a car with your head down. You might run into something. And that's kind of what he does. He puts his head down and just runs over anything in sight. He's got to start getting his head up. That's hard to teach. I mean, it's so much harder than what you would think it is. And you can't do the things you used to do. I used to get a neck brace and put a neck brace on them. They couldn't drop their head. You know, I swore to everybody it was medicinal. I'm joking. But yeah, we got to get him to get his head up.
Oscar, as far as I know, I think he's like maybe the only second McDonald's All-American kid to sign here. Has there been any need or to, like, you know, just talk to him about expectations his first year or anything like that? Or
no, I think he's as grounded as I told him yesterday, and he must have laughed for 5 minutes. But I told him the other day, I just did a speaking thing in Dayton, and they asked me because they watched him play in a McDonald's game, and the guy said, you know, does he run as fast as it looks like he runs? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how fast you think he looks like he runs, but he can really run. And I asked him one time, I said, how did you learn to run so fast? And he said his father was a hunter. And he had a bow. He was a bow hunter, you know. And he said he would, you know, shoot the bow, and he would say, run. And he said he had to outrun the arrow and bring it back so he could shoot it again. I said, what did he shoot? He said animals. I mean, I guess he was a hunter. So, but he honestly says he had to chase the arrows. He had to go find the arrows and bring them back. That's how he learned to run so fast. Now, if you believe that, I'll tell you another one. But
I believe he chased him. I don't know if he outran him.
I don't think he outran him. I do believe he chased him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's convinced me of that.
Anything else?
Coach, the Spain trip, you know, and everything happening in August, does it really feel like the first day of practice on Friday?
After, what is this, 43 years? Something like that. 43 years, and then, you know, playing before that. It all runs together. I mean, honestly, I don't, like, am I going to be all excited and giddy? No. But I don't know if I ever was, really. You know, the thing that and playing for my father, the thing that I remember as much as anything about him was you can't be up one day and then down another day. You know, you have to be in your approach to the game. You have to be very consistent, very workmanlike, and so that's kind of what we try to do. Try to be very workmanlike, you know, not, you know, and I see these guys are all giddy and they're, you know, jumping around and running around, and most of them couldn't play a damn lick that I see doing that, by the way. But I don't know, you know, I guess it's all about approach, but it makes more sense to me if you went about your job every day coming in to do the best you could possibly do, and you weren't up here one day or down here another day, you're probably going to do a better job, and you're going to be more consistent in what you do. So I don't get too high, I don't get too low. Well, I get low, but I just don't let them see me do it. That's generally when I take the film home and go down in the basement, cuss and throw things. But I'm in my own basement.